Hey everybody, ChrisLody here again with another behind the scenes episode looking at the Bad Things horror film score. The shooting of the film started this week, so it won't be too long now before I start getting footage trickling through. Maybe not to score too directly straight away, at least just to get a vibe of the film, and I can start honing the sound palette a little bit more. But a few things have happened since I last made a making of video. We've got the sort of acoustic guitar and vocal song recorded now. This track was written by Esme with additional guitar parts by Mark. I got Mark, the guitarist, to set out on the landing just outside my studio in the corner, and I faced my pair of SE Electronics SE7s in an XY pair on a stand just in front of the guitar. It's an electroacoustic model, so I also recorded the pickup and mixed all three of these channels together to get the guitar sound for the track. I recorded my wife Esme on vocals just outside my studio door with a different microphone. She's not very keen on being photographed though, so I didn't manage to get many good pictures of her to show you, unfortunately.
Take a look at the circles we see.
I also then recorded tambourine by going down the bottom of the stairs and leaving the mics at the top. I always think tambourine sounds a bit better with some distance. It really cuts through. So just putting some distance between me and the mic and getting more of an ambient recording seemed to work quite well. I then later added on some cello for a bit of bass. I'm not a cello player. I can just about manage to get different notes out of it though, so I just spread these notes across different channels and played them in sequence, one by one. So it's a bit wooden sounding maybe, but all in all in the mix I don't think it's too bad. I then added a synth underbass to get a bit more of a sub. And then I added some organ from my trusty Yamaha CS2X. I could have used a plugin for this obviously, but I'm quite familiar with the way that the CS2X works, so it was really quick and easy just to set that up and record it directly from that. Another thing I've been experimenting with is the Bastl Kastle Drum, which finally turned up. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to get used on the score yet, but I've had some great fun making patterns by feeding the vocal modular CV output directly into it. I'll run a tutorial on this at some point to show you how to sequence the Bastl Kastle Drum with the vocal modular, because it's quite a useful thing to know. It's also really good at noise, so I suspect that is also going to be a thing that's going to get used for quite a lot on the score. A few weeks ago or so I went to an auction and bought a Lexicon Reflex unit and a Ensoniq SQ2 keyboard. When I got them back, unfortunately I discovered the SQ2 was dead and it is currently just languishing in the cabin waiting to be repaired. I don't know when I'm going to get around to sorting that out, or even if I can repair it. It was quite a chunk of cash unfortunately to spend on a keyboard that is not working, and it's massive. Luckily though, the Lexicon reverb unit is working and it's exactly what I need for one element of the score. Anthony, the director, asked for some sort of animalistic screaming sounds. I think it's either going to be incorporated into the score as a bit of a theme, or perhaps it's going to be used as sound effects. But if we load up the chorus inside the Lexicon Reflex and run feedback from my sound card back into itself, you can sculpt all sorts of animalistic screaming sounds. They sound great, they're really weird. That's another thing I'll make a tutorial on at some point. I'll show you how to do that because it's well worth knowing. Some of you who've been following the channel for a while will know I like to make some of my own electronic musical instruments. They tend to take the shape of like experimental little weird noise boxes and that kind of thing. But for this score I decided to experiment a bit with some acoustics. So I've taken a dishwasher panel and attached a bass string to it basically, and I've called that instrument the Hellno. So the Hellno can be plucked or bowed or just basically struck. Then also we can bend notes by moving it around in space. This adds or releases tension from the string, so we can bend our notes physically. This is great for adding a bit of expression. We can get some really kind of doomy sounds out of this, so I think it would be great for the score. So I actually made up two of these. One has a low bass string on and one has a high bass string. The high bass string one I thought to actually add a tuning peg on there to get it to tune to the low bass string. But I'm actually going to strip the other one to bits and show you how to add a tuning peg on there yourself. So the tuning peg I used on the Hellno actually came from this ukulele kit that I bought cheap because the instructions are missing. As you can see, we've got a body of ukulele and its head bit. In order to use these tuning pegs, we need to match the thickness of this. We also need to match these hole sizes. There's a recess in here and a clearance hole through the back. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So this is how the string was tied off originally. I just sort of wedged it into the holes in the corner just to give some tension. But we're going to copy the other one and put a piece of wood on with the tuning peg going through like this, and the wire will come into the tuning peg at about 90 degrees in order to work. So I've got another piece of wood that's about the same thickness, and we're just going to chop it off to length just to match. So this is the chunk we need to take out, and this will leave a little piece in just about the right thickness to take the tuning peg. So to do that, I'm just going to bandsaw that piece out. So there's already a hole in the top of the panel that was the right size for the peg to go through, so I'm just going to mark that through with a pencil. And then I'm going to find a draw bit that matches the thinner part of the tuning peg, and one that matches the notch on the bottom part of the tuning peg. I'm just going to use a dot punch to mark the centre of this hole. It makes it easier to get things to line up properly. And then drill through with the clearance hole. So our other hole wants to be on the other side. I'm actually going to run the drill bit backwards here, and it's going to burnish its way in rather than drilling. And then we can knock our back piece of the tuning peg in. Then the thin part should fit through like this, and through the hole that we marked in earlier. And then I'm just going to mark around the wooden piece just to give an idea of where my screws want to go. So this is a dishwasher mounting panel, and it's unlikely to have a piece of metal exactly like this, but at least this tutorial will give you some idea of how you can adapt this to your needs. So I'm going to drill through these with a drill bit that's big enough to take the screw. Then I'm going to drill some pilot holes through from the other side. This will make it easier to get the screws in and also guide them in nicely. Then we can stick our screws in. Then we can place the top parts of our tuning peg on and put the screw in. Now the screw needs to be done quite tight because this is the thing that actually holds the tuning peg from slipping undone. Now I just have to thread the wire through from the holes at the bottom to the hole at the top. Then we can go around the corner and into the tuning peg. So that's about it. We've managed to make a pretty ugly looking instrument, I think, and it's super unwieldy and difficult to play, but it does sound pretty cool. Hopefully this video has given you some good ideas how you can make your own DIY instruments. Yeah, so go and experiment. So that's about it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks very much.